Good afternoon, YouTube. It's Mallory George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, we just finished up the big weekend. We had a couple of shows this weekend, and they were pretty good shows. I mean, a good, strong, strong lineups, amazing ladies and gentlemen. I don't focus too much on the guys because I'm a fan of the ladies. It may not be the '80s, but I'm down with the ladies. And as we know, we had within the same weekend, we had both the Linda Murray show, which is the in Atlanta, and also there was the Vancouver Pro, and they both had different shows at the same time. But one point was the first half of it was most of the divisions I follow, which is women's bodybuilding, physique, and even figure. Also, they had bikini and I believe men's classic. And they also did a pro. It was also a pro am. So they had one part of it the pros and one part is the amateurs. And for the Vancouver, it was also about the same, but they mostly did first it was an amateur show where it was also a pro qualifier. So I believe we had some new pros. I got to check and see if we pick up new pros. I don't know if we have all the divisions. I know physique, figure, and I don't think they do women's bodybuilding because not a lot of people want to sign up for that division. But anyway, if you follow and you've seen it, I watch the show live. And I get a critique. Also got some videos I'm going to post later I already post a couple onto my YouTube channel and also those stuff on my IG. So you see them. I got some more. I got to break the videos down, work out some other stuff. I'm busy sometimes when I figure putting some stuff together. So anyway, it was a great show. I wanted to check out the Vancouver show because a couple of ladies who I interviewed, that is the lovely Mrs. Natasha Marshall and the lovely Miss Gisele Heathcote, both did that show. But the problem was they wanted too much for the pay-per-view. So no. And I just said, I just watched the Linda Murray and that's about it. Hey, we got here our usual suspect here. One of my brothers here, my man, aka KLA the Wanderer. And he's been
What's
busy.
going on?
Yeah, he's been busy. He's been doing a little side gig a little bit. I see. Got a new avatar. Got that little honey you got. He took some pictures with.
Yeah, it ain't it's all right, man. It wasn't a big deal.
So,
I did, yeah, I did a little photo shoot with this chick, you know. So
what's her name?
her name is what's her name? Mariana.
All right. Yeah,
She's on IG. I send you her IG page.
all right. I'll check it out. So anyway,
Yeah.
did you watch the Linda Murray show or you know?
No, I didn't. I just seen like clips from you, clips from Female Bodybuilder channel. I know what Michaela Aycock, she won the qualification, the Olympia qualification and stuff. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The one person I was really rooting for to win the show was Sheena Oleg. Because, I had interviewed Sheena before, and also I've met her in person. She's a lovely lady. She took third, and surprisingly,
okay,
Salika Givens, who last year made her pro debut, she did pretty good. She won
okay.
in the women's masters class over 40, and also she took second. I say, wow. I mean, second, that's pretty good. Only being her second year as IFB pro. And if you still had the point system, I was in contact with her. I was, one year she would do another show after this, but she's
Yeah.
told me right now she's going to focus on the Rising because that's the show she's got invited to. So as you know, this weekend coming, actually on the 18th, the start of is the Chicago Pro. And that is one of the few shows that's had women's bodybuilding, that's the Tim Gardner production. But anyway, as I said, I just want to give a shout out to Michaela, and she really, I mean, she's her condition has just always been crazy, especially for her how short she's like barely 5 feet tall, and most of the women she compete with is always gonna be taller than her. As I think there's maybe a couple of women that are maybe about the same height as her, but here's the pictures here. This is from the show. As you see, Michaela was in the center pretty much because I was sure that they moving them around a bit. They did one point, but she was in the center. Right here at the very end, you had Tawanda Washington. I'm sorry, Tawanda Smith. Then you have Victoria Dominguez. You have Salika, Michaela, Sheena, Patty Hansen looked really good. She got fourth, and Patty looked really good. I haven't seen her the last couple of years since the last time she competed. No, almost 3 years because it was no.
What place? What
Hmm?
place Tawanda the Black Wonder Woman got?
I think she was either sixth or eighth, seventh or eighth, I
Oh,
believe.
okay.
You know, I
No.
believe she was probably was I believe she might have been uh maybe seventh because you go by this. I think Tina Chandler got sixth place, and so I probably put her seventh with Kina Squarey at eighth because there's only eight competitors show, you know, and it was a decent lineup. I wish it was a little more stacked, some more competition, but some ladies I think are still prepping for some shows. So, it takes a lot longer to get ready, but it was an amazing lineup. I mean, all they looked pretty good. It was in great condition. There was the critiques here. Also, you had the Masters where you had, it's only 5 ladies competed. There was like Masters is over 40, but I think Patty Hansen is over 40. I don't know. I don't know why she didn't do the Masters part. She probably would have done well, but she's decided to just do the Open. And I know Michaela's not over 40, most definitely not Sheena. So right here we have here is the top 5 competitors, only 5 competitors. Uh, at one point, I thought it was going to be Victoria Dominguez taking first this show, but then they switched out and they put Salika in the center. And then I think Victoria took second this show, third with Tatina, and I think fourth was Tawanda Smith, and fifth is Keon Squarey. So we got here one of my brothers popped in. And this is my brother. This is our brother, Mr. Big Keith Williams.
What
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. He's just a so brother. Do you watch the show? Or not? I know you wasn't watching, but
here's the
you.
thing. Dorian Yates said it best. I watched the thing on him when he said, "Do you go to shows?" No. I like being in the gym. I like training. I don't go to shows. I seen some stuff on IG, but I don't watch these shows. I ain't getting none of my money. I give it up to the IFBB. Oh, I want to show you guys something real quick. Hold on one second.
Go ahead. So he can go. He can watch the show, folks. But we will take his critique because he is
So
a judge.
remember we were talking about these pro cards. So
Yeah.
this is what it looks like right here. It's a piece of paper.
Uh-huh.
That's
That's
what it looks
it?
like.
That's
That's
it.
it. And this one I laminated in 2013 because this is just a piece of paper, and I laminated this one to make it nice so I wouldn't ruin it. So I'm waiting for my new one to come in the mail because I just spent $275 on one this year because if you don't have one, you can't compete in the show, and I got a show in 10 weeks, so you got to give up that $275. So
Yeah. You
y'all
gotta
know
keep
what
Yo,
up
these
that's
there.
pro
crazy.
cards look like. One that's not laminated, one that's laminated. So
And you
anyway,
Forgive
gotta
me,
do
I
it.
don't know what laminated
and you
means.
got to get them every year. So
What
this is
he mean by
2022.
laminated?
What
What you
what'd you
mean by
say?
laminated? No, I said
I
what
take
you
it to
meant by
Kinko's.
laminated.
I take it to
Me,
Kinko's and they laminate it with plastic so it doesn't get ruined. So this is paper.
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
This
okay.
is paper, and
lamination.
then I
I
take it
got
to
you.
Kinko's and they laminate it for you, so it's in paper. See the edges? There's lamination around it, so it's a little shiny, so it doesn't get ruined.
Yeah, like
Oh,
most times you get a security card, they don't laminate anymore. You have to take and get it laminated yourself.
Yeah,
oh,
Yeah.
like my NFL PA card. I don't. It's a credit card, so it's like a credit card. So it's nice. It's like titanium, so I don't have to do anything. It's and I still get one because I'm in the league. So and I
why
paid the
so
union dues.
expensive?
Huh?
Why that's so expensive? $275. I mean, it
Yeah.
ain't expensive, but it's like why it can't just be $100 or something like that? $200 or something.
Well,
Just
it goes
looking
up
at
every
that.
year. I think it started at like 150. I know that's what NPC. I don't even know what an NPC card is nowadays, but I think it's like maybe 175, 200 now. So again, as pros, the only benefit to having this thing is that unlike amateurs, when you sign up for a show, you don't have to pay entry fee.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the bonus, but you still got to pay for your travel, air, all that other shit. So it's just
Mm.
a card,
Yeah.
and this is
And
Hey,
laminated.
And only time you pay interest
I
fees
don't
if
know
you're
what to say.
doing. Only time you pay entry fee if you're doing a master show, because that's
Yeah.
the only time you have to. And to
Well,
me,
and like the Legion show that I'm doing, and as I'm doing open and masters, they don't pay. You don't, as a masters, you don't pay for that show, and the prize money is like 12 grand. So the Legion show in Reno, in September 28th and 29th, Chris Members show, you don't pay for that show. All the other shows, Gary Udick shows, and all these other master shows, you pay to play. You get prize money, and the way that works is basically how many guys enter the show. They basically divvy up the money based off of how many entries. From That's what Gary did, which is no offense, bullshit, but that's what Gary does for his shows. Again, if here's my thing, I know it's off topic what we're talking about, but if you turn pro in any show, aren't you a pro? Because you're a master pro, you gotta now you still got it's like you're a pro, but you're still playing or you're still paying. So you still like I think Gary shows like $150, $200 to enter a master pro show. All you're doing is hopefully getting your money back by placing in the top three. I mean, like when we talk about this subject that we're talking about now, I mean, Michaela won $2,500. 2,500. That's bullshit. Third place was 500. Second place was 1,000. I mean, come on. I mean, those girls spend more of that in their prep. Way more of that in their prep. And it's just ridiculous. So anyway.
Here I saw this. The female bodybuilding channel posted this that they did comparisons between the prize money to women's bodybuilding into wellness. The woman who won the wellness got $4,000. And here's people forget that it's Wolfpack are putting up the part of the prize money for shows for wellness. So if someone was, if like I said, if there was it was a business sponsor women's bodybuilding, and let's say if I had like deep pockets, I said, you know what, I want to sponsor women's bodybuilding. I want to do like this. I said, okay, let me put up maybe $10,000. You can split amongst the top three competitors. Like you get like, okay.
Well, here's the thing, George. Isn't Lenda Murray a part of Wings of Strength? So why wouldn't Wings of Strength put the money up for that show? But more than $2,500. Come on now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Jake
So
could get the
it's just bullshit. And again, I'm a male competitor. And again, no females on this show today. And here I am venting for them today. Should I give a shit? Absolutely not. But I do, because when I'm looking at that check, and I seen it on the IG, and it's a check in front of her for $2,500. I'm like, really? No offense and all. The last place guy in open show any open show will win like maybe $5,000, compared to 2,500. I mean, so it's somewhat disrespectful. But again, when you have Lenda Murray and you have Wings of Strength, and you're pay-per-view in it, so you get money there too. And I don't know how many people tuned in to watch the show, but again, and plus door sales and everything else, you think that you were up the ante for the girls. It's like, come on now. I mean, these girls go through a whole bunch of shit, to get into unbelievable shape. I know what I have to do as a male competitor. I just left the gym 30 minutes ago, and it's fucking brutal. So I can't even imagine what, I watched Tina, and she's getting ready for the Anaheim show.
Oh, just went out. He may be back in the folks with, yeah. And it's crazy that, how much money you put to this and you're just not getting much of it back. I mean, 2,500. That's like, because Michaela, she comes from Tampa. So, okay, even if she do come up she has to drive there, the cost of gas, then the food, and, she's with her family. I think she was with her mother, her father, and her boyfriend, I believe. They brought a dog with them too. So, there's a lot of expense to be in a women's sport. And we talk about this.
We talked about this several times. And, again, I just put on my banana hammock because I had to send pictures to my coach today. And I was talking to a guy about that today, George. I'm like, he said something. I'm like, my boy George calls them banana hammocks. He's like,
that's what they are.
They are. And it's a fucking little piece of material. But I don't have. I still got to get tanned. It's where black people get tanned too before shows, so people know. But again, I don't have the hair, the makeup, the tan, the suits, and all this other stuff that go along with it, on top of the food and everything else. So when you think about that, and not unless you have Tina has a suit sponsor now, so that's great. But if you don't have all these other things, I mean, I looked at Tina. I said the other day, I said, in the business that we're in, the bar industry that we're in, I said, how much she makes 20 times that much money doing what we're doing in our business, just being a bartender. Even though she's the owner, she's also the bartender, but she makes way more money than these girls ever will make, competing, and in a show. And this, and hopefully these girls have a different residual income besides the beat the meat sites, that they're making money on, because it's a tough sport to make money in, as far as women are concerned. It's a tough sport to make money in general, but it's a tough market to make money in as a woman. And here's the thing that pisses me off, George, more than anything. I am watching cornhole last night at my bar on fucking ESPN. I'm like, you can put cornhole on. They had like this slip and slide contest where you run up the slip and slide. And I say, but you can't put bodybuilding on, really? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's just you have poker on ESPN, throwing darts. I mean, it's just
it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's just like
I'd rather watch somebody in unbelievable shape on TV than somebody throwing a goddamn piece of a bag in a hole. No offense at all to you cornhole people out there.
Fence
I
taken.
don't even think I know what that is.
Well, cornhole, it's just a game where you have it's like a bean bag you throw into a hole. That's all it is.
Oh,
yeah, it's been around for some time.
Shamar, the actor, was on there. He built a cornhole stadium at his house in his backyard. He was on TV yesterday because it's a celebrity one, and he was on
Moore.
there, with a bunch of other celebrities. But again, that's how serious. Come on, KL, you need to get up with the times, bro. Cornhole, they play it at football games all the time, tailgating and stuff. Come on, KL, come.
I haven't been watching football.
We
like
in 2024, bro.
I'm sorry.
I know you're on the East Coast, but we're in
I'm sorry.
I know you're on the East Coast, but we're in 2024 , bro.
I'm on the East Coast too, but he's up in New York. I'm down here south. He's in New York. You can't look people in New York in the eye. You can't see. How you doing? You're talking. Even women get aggressive. He said, like, he told me one time. He said, "A woman will tell you suck her dick." I said, "What?
What?" Wow.
Yeah, they say suck my dick in New York. The young girls and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, I say pull it out. Pull it out.
Yeah. Or anyway, let's go back to the subject.
Sorry about that. Sorry, guys.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, yo. I know you got wild out every now and then, bro. But it was a pretty good show. I watched it, and I was impressed by the lineup. I was surprised that the big surprise, like I said again, I was really rooting for Sheena, and I thought she could take this show. But if you know anything, Michaela always come in best condition. Here she's getting everything right here, and this is after the show.
Very dry.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I said you did a very impressive thing up there. Tell us about your training.
My training, it's
4'11".
diligent, it's meticulous, it's hard, and it takes what it takes.
Right. I love that saying. It takes what it takes.
Yeah.
Tell us about your inspiration doing your training.
My inspiration is myself, and the improvements that I need to make, the feedback that I get from the judges, and I just take that to heart and put it into my training.
Is it anybody you want to thank in particular?
By the grace of God that I am what I am, and I'm here, and I want to thank my parents because I couldn't do this without them. The IFBB for giving us the platform, Lenda for giving us this
George,
show.
I think you need to turn up your
Well, I want
volume.
you to look into that camera and tell everybody what will we see and when will we see you next?
You'll see me at the Olympia, that's for sure, and I will continue to improve and do this title justice.
Well, once again, on behalf of the Wings of String, sponsored by Protan, we thank you very much, and we'll look forward to seeing you on down the line. Do me one last favor, hit them with one more pose. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, she looked pretty good, and I was, like I said, she came in, and this show she went back in 2022 when it first debuted, and she won it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go.
Sherry was second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Sherry was second that year, and Sherry, she's now said she's going to do Tampa because she was. I think somebody asked her to think about doing Chicago, but she said nah. Because she has a job. She works as a dental hygienist, and did the cost of going all the way to Portugal and take second at that show. That costs a lot of money. But like I said, all legs look impressive. I mean, Patty Henson, if you
So
know
Sheena
her,
was what place? Second or third?
Tina was third.
Okay, and the other black girl was third, second.
Yeah, that was Salika. She took second because Salika, here she is right
She
here.
won the Masters though.
She won the Masters. Here he is. She's giving us the interview right here.
Since I'm standing here with Salika, I want to congratulate you on behalf of the Wings of Strength, sponsored by Protan. Tell me, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling awesome. I'm feeling blessed to be here and just to have a chance to stand on stage with so many beautiful women in my division. It's an honor and a blessing. So it's a good feeling today, right now.
Well, it goes without saying, you're very impressive, and you have an impressive physique. Tell us, how was your training, and what did you do during your meal prep?
My training was very strategic this season. I look completely different than what I did last Atlanta Pro. I still have work to do, but I most definitely brought more shape and detail, my legs and my back. Dieting started early, so we can come in nice and easy and steady. So um, that's basically it. Clean eating for a long time.
Well, tell us what your next move is.
I'm not sure yet, but I know we'll be at the Rising Phoenix. I got an invitation, and I'm so happy that I'm going to be able to chance to experience that. So I'm looking forward to that.
Do us one favor. Hit us with one last pose for us. There you have it, IFBB Pro Champion. Thank you and congratulations. We look forward to seeing you down the road. You're
She is impressive. When she came on the scene last year as a pro, because and she just did pretty good. I think she was top three when she did the Atlanta. Atlanta was her debut last year. And I think she was top three, top five of that show. And also she won the Masters of the show too. And then she did Tampa after that. No, she did Chicago after that. Was it Chicago and Tampa after that? I'm trying to remember which one. But I think she did these three shows. And now she's got invited to the Rising Phoenix. And that's pretty good. I mean, you hadn't been a pro that long, you get an invite.
Yeah, she has a lot of work to do in her conditioning. She's very impressive. Her muscle bellies are really impressive. I watched her interview. She gave a way better interview than Michaela. Here's the thing: when we're trying to create attention to this sport, I like her personality. I like her attitude versus Michaela. It's just dry. And it's like, how do you draw people and get somebody excited if it's just dry? You know what I mean? Where she had a vibrant personality. She was grateful. She said, so I know I still got work to do. She's excited about going to Rising Phoenix and being there. And she has a lot of great potential as a pro. And that's what the sport needs, is more people like her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the one thing you pointed that she does need to work on her conditioning. She does have the size, and she does have those round muscle bellies that the judges like. But like I said, if she can come in a little bit tighter, especially in the glute area, where that's the thing the judge is going to look at from the back. The back, as as well as I do, the back can make or break how well you do at a show. How your place is going to be.
It does.
Yeah, because if you don't come in as tight and it's put together as necessary,
it's hard to beat Michaela because Michaela's 4'11", and I know that girl isn't much taller, but Michaela's conditioning is just impeccable. That's the one thing I can never take away from her is her condition. Her quads are a little funny shaped to me, but her conditioning is unbelievable. And she has a cross-rated glutes and all that other stuff, and it's hard to beat that. I'll be interested to see. I think it's this weekend coming up to Chicago Pro. That's going to be an interesting show. Because you have Hunter coming back. I don't know who else is going to jump in that show, but that's going to be another interesting lineup to see what happens there.
Well, I heard that there might be Christina Mendoza might be doing the show because she won it last year, and
they train at the same gym.
What?
They both train at Dragon's Lair. They both train at the same gym in Vegas.
Because she works for because that's her posing coach.
Yeah, so that it
Yeah,
should be really interesting. And
yeah,
Christina is going to defend her title because she won it last year, right?
yeah. So and I was talking with one lady who, well, actually, she was in physique. That's Oksana. She's going to Pittsburgh with her husband, Autumn, because that's where he's going to compete at. And like I said again, I think Shalika said she's going to do Rising. Uh, I was in contact with Patty Henson. She's going to be doing the show in Anaheim, and that's close to because she lives farther out west. So and I don't know if
Yeah.
Sheena's going to do Chicago or not because and we're still waiting on Rashana and Mila, see what shows they're going to do.
Well, and
'Cause-
here's the sad thing. Here's what we'll always go back to. It's like Sheena, who looked unbelievable. She did a show. What show did she do a couple weeks ago?
last month she did the Toronto Super Show.
Vancouver. So yeah,
Toronto.
Toronto Super Show. Then she just did this show. I mean, I love her look. I love her shape. Um, and here's the sad thing: it's like, a girl like that is probably not going to get into Olympia. Who should probably be in Olympia if they had a point system, and that sucks. And that really sucks with not having that point system now because it's a girl who should be in the show because I love her look. Um, it's what bodybuilding should be about, that kind of look, to bring some of the femininity back to it. But, it's going to be unfortunate that, she's one of these girls outside looking in, and if she can't win whatever show she jumps into next, which all these shows that's coming up next are heavy hitter shows, and a lot of good girls are going to come in these shows. And not unless she can dry out, bring her conditioning up some more, it's going to be super tough for her to get into the Olympia this year.
And also, I think because she's a little bit taller, she has that more
Yeah.
athletic, lean look. It's hard
Yeah,
to
she's like
compete.
Tina. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's like Tina because Tina's 5'8.5", 5'9". So it's just it's hard for these tall girls to, when you're standing next to Tina, maybe 5'8", maybe, and again, Michaela's 4'11". It's like I had a competitor do Team U last week, and they had a class that was 5'5" to 6'2". Well, how the fuck do you compare that? Because you have a guy who's Bruce is 5'7", 183 pounds, in great shape, ripped. But then you got a guy who's 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", 200 pounds. That's a big weight discrepancy, and that's what we're talking about here. Where you got Sheena, who this girl is like 5'7", 5'8", and then you got Michaela, who's probably maybe pushing 5 feet. It's like muscle bellies and looks are just different at that. At that when we're talking about height and bodybuilding, that is.
yeah. Good example. This was the Portugal Pro, which was last like earlier last month, and how I was rooting for Sherry. Sherry looked great. She looked in condition, but what it is,
Yeah.
Anastasia was just she had that's a little bit more size because she was a little shorter. I think she's not even 5 feet tall. She might be 5 feet.
Yeah.
And you say she was more even because she did an interview. I'm sure did an interview with Glenn from Amazon Fitness Magazine. She said that the thing was that Anastasia was a little bit, especially in the legs, she was a little bit more even compared to Sherry, who had great conditioning, but still just lacks that little bit of size, especially when it comes down to the legs. She has great, like I said, Sherry has a great body. She's amazing physique. We should go any bigger? I doubt it because she's already almost 50, and sometimes even you don't put on that size beforehand, and it's just, or if you, like I said again, if you're a little shorter, then you can put on the muscle pretty good. It's a lot hard, like I said, and Cherry's not that tall, but Anastasia's just more even. They would say they was calling her like the Lee Priest, female version of Lee
Yeah.
Priest.
And he was and Lee Priest was a freak, but he could never get in there. He could never break into that top 3 spot. I mean, like Jay Cutler and all those guys say, Lee Priest was the freakiest dude you ever seen. But aesthetically wise and size wise, when you're standing next to Kevin and Flex and Chris Cormier and Ronnie Coleman and Jay and all those guys, it's just hard. Because he got these crazy muscle bellies, but that's why I don't understand you have this discrepancy between men's bodybuilding like Hade and Derek Langford, who are shorter guys that can kill Big Ramy or Samson Dua. But then we go to women's bodybuilding. If you're taller, it hurts you. versus if you're a male, it really doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't. So it's a real discrepancy in the two, where like Michaela's what 4'11" maybe, and I don't
Mhm.
know how how tall the girl was and who was second to her, but I mean I thought Sheena's conditioning probably was better than the girl who was in second. She had bigger muscle bellies because again she's shorter. So it's I love the look. I love that look.
Yeah, she
So I
like
call it the hybrid look of bodybuilding. That's the new. Everybody used to say that about Tina, the hybrid look about women's bodybuilding.
yeah, because Sheila is like I said, I met her in person. I know you've been around her quite a bit. This is here for
Yeah,
the pictures from the
good person.
show. Yeah, she has that great lean, good look. I think maybe classic
Yep.
women's bodybuilding from back in the day, but it's hard as the division evolves. Also,
Yeah.
you had Tina Chandler was there, and she did pretty good. She got sixth place. And she hadn't competed almost in over 10 years, and she's in her
Wow.
50s, and she come in here and she, even though there was like only like 8 competitors, she still got 6 out of 8 and was in top 5 for women's baskets. I think she probably would do better in physique.
Yes.
Yeah, because when she was competing, it was that era when you still had to. It was like Iris Kyle and them, and those women were kind of like what the women now look at in women's physique, than with bodybuilding.
Well, I mean,
Also,
if you're looking at that picture, I mean, you can look at she has those unbelievable, really, really conditioned legs, but her waist has to be smaller because her waistline comes out to her quads, and if her waistline is smaller, I think she does better. But yes, definitely, I thought if she goes over the women's physique, she'll do really well.
mhm. And right here we have a picture of Patty Hansen, and Patty, if you know, in 2022, last time she competed, she nearly was dying on stage from dehydration, but she looked a lot fuller. She put on some good amount of size. I mean,
What place was she?
she was fourth in open, but she
Oh,
didn't do masters. She's fourth, so she really did pretty good. And she's only been a pro for a couple of years. She also earned her pro card at Michigan International in 2021. Or no, 2020, 2020. And here we have Michaela, and Michaela's just a freak on the leash. I mean, her shoulders, her delts. But the thing is that she does have that, as some people tell me, an awkward build because she's so
look at her. I
short.
mean, but look at her one quad. It's just weird looking. It's like if you look at her quads, they're not balanced. That's the thing that bugs me. It's like that like she has a great outer sweep on her left quad, and then her right quad is like down by her kneecap. It's like weird. You see that?
Yeah, it kind of like poking off to the side like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's just
yeah.
like I don't know what that is. It's just weird. Maybe a bad injection
And
or something.
here's Salika right here. She's doing a workout. Look at her shoulders. Great development around the delts. I mean, just one thing is a midsection because I think she has a child, and sometimes when you have children, it does affect how your midsection looks. I think that's something. Even if she trains it probably won't really. But I think one thing is her back and her shoulders are probably her best feature.
Yeah, and she openly admitted she's like, I gotta work on, she says I got some things to work on before Rising Phoenix, and conditioning being one of them. But other than that, she looked pretty good.
And we have here is Victoria Dominguez. Now, Victoria was at one point, I thought Victoria was going to win the Masters, but then the judges swapped them out, her and Salika. And last time, I think Victoria competed a couple of years ago. Not
Smooth in the
much,
midsection.
huh?
Smooth
Yeah,
in the midsection.
yeah. She needs to really, I don't know. It's just something. It looks like I was a little bit like that issue, like how all it talks about guys with protruding bellies, and it was a little more tight overall. You can look at the shoulders, good condition base, but
Catch
still,
Grandma Elaine.
yeah. If she can if she worked that midsection a little better, coming a little tighter, I think she probably would place
I'm on
well.
my podcast. I'll have to call you back.
Who? Oh, yeah. That's Keith talking on the phone. Yeah, anything they can
Yeah.
do. Anyway, Anyway, go back to here. We also, also at the show was Alina Popa, and
Hello?
she was there with Linda. they were doing a little conversation. They were giving their critique. So I'm gonna find it here, and I'm gonna play it. Where is it? I saw it. You see, it's. Wait a minute. I thought you had it. Give me a second, folks. I saw it a few minutes ago when I was on here because they give their critique. They always do this after the show, especially since it's Linda's show. There it is. I think this is one of the first critiques.
Hello, guys. We're here at the Atlanta Pro Super Show, and today we wrapped up and we got through, let's see, of course, women's bodybuilding, figure, bikini, and what was the fourth? Women's physique and women's physique. Well, let's start with figure. We have masters for every division.
We have masters in over 40 for every division, but I just wanted to say that, like in the figure division, there were so many competitors. I was impressed with the lineup and the quality of these girls.
Thank you, ladies, for showing up.
Yeah, definitely judges had a really hard time. I saw Sarah Van Heiden in 6th place.
Yes.
And I'm just trying to picture back. She had an amazing body, good flow. Her delts were popping.
Yes.
And I really like that her frame had width to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she was a beautiful competitor.
Beautiful competitor in 6th place. Yes, and in 5th, Stacy, right? Stacy.
Yeah, we
Steiner.
had Stacy Steiner. Yes, Stacy was. I thought she has a big frame. She was a little flat on the legs,
Mm-hmm.
but otherwise great flow. 4th place was Courtney Jacobs.
Courtney Jacobs.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I thought that she had great flow. She was hard on her upper body, great delts, and great waist, really small waist.
Really small waist.
I
Very nice
love
structure.
her back pose was
phenomenal.
Beautiful. Yes, I really enjoyed watching her. And 3rd place is somebody we've seen, and I particularly have seen quite a lot. She's competing in Romania.
Yes.
Zulfia Bitieva.
And she's always like normal. She just brings it. She's always so conditioned, really balanced, and she's not as not as ripped. I think she's doing it intentionally, right?
Yes.
Which is amazing because she was in amazing shape here. It's hard to believe that she could be leaner than what she was.
I know. And she also won the over 40 in Masters today.
Yes.
So that was a great placing for her.
Yes.
3rd place in Open and 1st in over 40. I really like her flow and the way she's posing.
I really
do.
Yeah.
The way her muscles pop, it's really remarkable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's one of my favorites. No question. I don't believe she's qualified yet for the Olympia. I just expect to see her on the. I expect to see her on the Olympia stage. It's gonna happen.
Yes.
And in 2nd place, we had
Kristen McGregor.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it was a battle between her and Cherish Richardson.
Yes.
Who won that?
Yes, and the thing is, her physique, phenomenal. Kristen. Phenomenal structure, her muscle, the shape of her structure. She just not as lean and she wasn't as conditioned as Cherish.
Yes, definitely Cherish had more conditioning, but Kristen had a small waist,
tiny waist,
great open shoulders and delts and everything. The flow of her lines were beautiful.
Yes.
But Cherish was I found that like her conditioning was better for sure. But frame was somewhat more smaller, but man, the quality, the 3D effect of that muscle, the density.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what made her. And she has huge biceps for a figure.
Yes.
Cherish.
Yes.
And she's
she's a firefighter.
Like, oh my God.
She's a firefighter. She's a strong woman. And,
well, congratulations, ladies. And
yes, welcome to the Olympia, Cherish.
Let's
again.
moving over to women's physique.
Okay. Oh yeah, women's physique. 23 women showed up. It was really
Lots
tough.
of muscles.
All of them were in great shape. I was so surprised. I had no idea we'd have that many.
I know.
And I was
Very
just really
seldom to
impressed.
see so
Really
many.
impressed. I guess in that first call out, and I know the final, they had Anna Harrias.
Harrias, I would say
Harrias.
yes.
They had Autumn Swanson and Linka
Lenka, yes.
Farinkukava.
Ferenkukova, yes.
And Amanda Mukado and
Machado.
Winsome White.
Yes, I mean it was packed. It was lined
It
up.
was.
And let's start by saying that the winner of this was Anna Harrias.
Yes.
And
yes.
she also won the over 40.
Yes.
She got double win today.
Which is
here.
amazing, right? She did. She won over 40.
And
amazing
yes.
muscle as far as development. No question about it. Like I think about the women at the Olympia.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
She has the muscle.
I mean,
for
the
sure.
bell
and
was
the conditioning.
The bell was
And beautiful
between,
structure too.
Between her and Amanda. They battled, and I think it was very close. I think that, as a matter of fact, the way the judges kind of like
they said it was
guessed
1 point.
Yeah, I think that Amanda was in the morning; it was ahead, and then in the evening, Anna came in harder, and she's got it. You know, like Amanda, she had a beautiful wider shoulders. I really love the aesthetics and the flow of her body. She was just a little softer from the back compared to Anna. And Anna had that conditioning and then density. They both have that. They both have that beautiful round muscle that flows. So definitely
she has strong traps, strong shoulders, just strong back development.
Dense, big
very
muscles.
dense, big muscles. Absolutely
beautiful. And then Amanda had that 3D pop with a beautiful flow, and she's always very feminine. She moves very flowing, very pretty,
I love
sexy.
It. Yes.
Okay, we had, and then we had Lenka Ferenkukova, and actually, honestly, I've seen Lenda in better shape before. Lenka, sorry, I've seen her in better shape before. I've seen her harder. She has this beautiful structure, beautiful flowing lines. But in the past, she was like polished to perfection, and I think she was one step away from that today, and that's why I think that costed her landing in higher places.
Yep, and I was impressed with also Winsome White. I just want to make sure mention her. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful structure. She just has to put on some more size.
Yeah,
right? When you look at the women that placed first, second,
just
beautiful structure.
And then fourth place was Autumn Swanson. Autumn came in great shape. She's always like so conditioned and in such great quality. And then so she ended up fourth place. And then we had Romana Scottson. She was a little bit blockier in the waist, but overall her quality was amazing. Like really hard, dense muscles.
Very dense muscles.
Yeah. So congratulations, ladies. Let's see if there's. Autumn Swanson also got second in the over 40.
Okay.
Just throwing that in.
Yeah, which again, it's amazing the athletes over 40.
Yes.
And how amazing they look. And they go and open and just kick butt.
We've also had bikini.
So that was the critique of Women's Physique from the eight-time Miss Olympia, Lenda Murray, and also the 2018 Rise Feeding Champion, Alina Popa. And you know both these ladies, they're wonderful ladies. I got to meet Alina. I love talking about it. I got to meet her back in 2022. I saw Lenda, but I didn't get a chance to talk to her. But I know my man, if he's still here, KL, you still here? He actually interviewed Winsome White. KL, because she, I think it was was it last year you interviewed her?
Winsome White?
Yeah.
That was like, somewhere last year.
And she's from New York, like KL, and she did an interview with her. And I think she also did Omaha last month. I think she was top 3 in that show. And like one thing, she is kind of short. It's kind of like Michaela. She's short, but she's more lean. And it's harder for her to really put on that size because she was a lot bigger girl. If you remember the interview, she used to be a bit overweight. So but the lineup was impressive. I mean, I'm gonna quote the picture here. How our house, who was a while back, I think it was a couple years ago when she last time she competed at Olympia. She was, remember, I think Keith, you were there in Tampa last time she competed. He told me, he said, George, check out the girl in the was it the rainbow posing suit. I said, who's that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I think she should pull up here in a minute. I think she's right here somewhere. Gotta go through the here. Give me a second, folks. I will pull up the pictures here. Here we go. And I'm gonna pull it up here a second. And she won both overall, and also she won both open. And she has a pretty impressive physique. Let me see here. If I get a little more of a larger picture here. Let me go ahead. Let's go to her interview where she gave. We can probably see a little more detail of her right here. Oh, we go.
The winner here, you look fantastic. Tell us how you feel.
I feel very happy. I've been working very hard for the last year to go back to the Olympia and a win, not on points, which I'm glad they took that off. So it's very exciting. And the most exciting part is to see so many women's physique athletes competing in the same show. So that makes me very happy.
Well, tell us your prep time when getting ready for this show, and what inspiration can you share with us?
Wow. The prep time was, we literally planned this after my last show last year. So I started prep in December. And it's just a lot of work, a lot of more. I'm sorry.
Do you have any coaches to thank? Family?
My husband. My husband
Okay.
is my backbone. I coach myself. I do everything for myself. He's just in the back telling me if I'm doing the right thing or not. Supporting me 100%. So I'm very grateful and thankful for that.
Well, on behalf of the Wings of Strength and Crotan, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you down the road. Best wishes to you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. All right.
And like I said, she's bit on, I would say, let me pull up on her IG. She's
Where's
kind of
she
bit on.
from?
She's originally from Mexico, but she lives in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, she's kind of she's kind of on the. I think I would say she's a bit on the leaner side when it comes to some of the competitors, especially in physique. She, especially around the legs. I think she has good conditioning. Let me see if I can pull it up. Wait a minute. Here we go. Right here. You usually have the list. See. Let me see. Let's see. Let me see. Let me check. Give me 30 seconds, folks, guys. But I think the thing is with her saying that she trains herself, I think that might be the thing that kind of might maybe halt her a little bit, because sometimes it's good to have a coach.
A subjective point of view.
Yeah. Because if your husband's your coach, he tells you this, or she's your own coach, but a husband's telling, he's your husband. He's just telling you, he might want you want to hear or what you looks. Oh, here we got him a man, Warrior 2000s. He says this. He says, "How gorgeous does Lenda Murray look? She is beautiful. Can you believe this woman is 62 years old? I mean, I wouldn't think it." Also, this is from Warrior says. Says Alina Popa is sexy with her accent and amazing lady. She was one of my favorite athletes during her prime. And also, Lena was also the coach of our dear friends here's wife. That was back. Not no longer coaching her anymore. And and I think those two women are they're doing good work. They're promoting shows. Give opportunities for their divisions. Alina got a show coming up in September that is the Alina Popa Classic, where it's exclusively just women's bodybuilding. It's no other division. Maybe in the future she might add a couple more divisions just so you'll get some competitors to be opportunities. But that's good that she's stepping up and giving her, because that year they had the Masters Olympia over there, and here this is what I heard during the interview. Said that because Salika won in Masters, she's qualified for the Master Olympia.
Yep.
So now you don't have to do the invitation anymore. So that's pretty good, you know. And my big bro, he's gonna be competing in the show. He'll be doing open and masters.
Yep,
Maybe he'll yeah, he maybe get his
that's the
qualification there.
plan. That's the plan.
Yeah.
And
Well,
we're right on point. You know, Melanie's taking over my coaching, and we're in a good place right now. Let's just say that very good place.
that's good. You know, it's good that you found the right coach and somebody you know that works with you, you know. And like I said, I'm gonna
She
wish you
also
the best of
coaches
luck.
Tina.
Yeah, you and Tina. I wish you because I know Tina is planning to do the show in Anaheim,
Yep.
and then I know this year she's not. Yeah, I'm surprised she hadn't got invited to the Olympics because you you've been invited about every year.
Yeah. To
To,
Worlds.
not
Yeah.
to Worlds, yeah. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
but
It's here's the thing. I think Tina was at her all-time best when she was with Melanie. Melanie went through a spell of some things, some personal things in her life, being sick and some health issues, and she came out here. She was just out here about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and Melanie is I can't, thank her enough for taking back on us. We walked away from Mel because um, we wanted her to be healthy. We wanted her to get her health back in order, and now she's healthy, or getting back to being healthy. She's a very knowledgeable person. She Tina never placed out of the top five when she was with Melanie, never. And then when we had to go away because Melanie was having health issues, things started spiraling down. So I think what she's bringing to Anaheim, being back with Melanie, people are going to be really impressed and really shocked at what they see. I'm kind of keeping it under wraps, but yeah, it's something special happening, here in Lawrence, Kansas.
yeah. We got here from our man, Raheem Hamlin says, George, maybe the cost of a coach is too high for her. I can understand that. Also, this is from our man, Money J says, Salika got potential. I see it. Thank you, brothers. Also, this is from, he says, good luck, Keith. And also he
Appreciate you.
says, yeah. And also he says, here you go. Yeah, my computer's getting slow. I need to get to the computer. Yeah. There it is. I don't know why it's confused. That says, I wish you well, brother. You know,
Thank
but
you.
like I said, I'm going to bring up some pictures of not Salika, of Anna, and this is from the show. And she has good taper, but if I look at her in one way, I see her more closer to figure. If you look at the women in figure now, I mean, her condition is good. It was on point. Like I said, that was one thing. Good condition, and also I think one thing I think that might have helped to win the show. I'm gonna show it in a second. Is her back. You can really see how everything's popping. She from the back she looked really good. The condition was really good. I mean, I think that was the thing that probably helped her play so well, and also to beat
Here's
Machado.
here's my 2 cents, and I'm just gonna give my 2 cents.
Go ahead.
Isn't this what the definition of women's physique is supposed to be? You know, Sandy talked about, and I've heard her say this on several occasions. They don't want the cross-stration and glutes because that's harder, more towards women bodybuilding. I actually like this look for a women's physique look. I think this is what women's physique should be about. Because now if you look at these pictures of her, I can say, okay, this is what women's physique. But even though like Sarah and Natalia are smaller, but they're just fucking shredded. And so it's like when I'm looking at that, I'm like, you got cross tracing your glutes. Sandy said they didn't want that. This is more of a good women's physique look for, in my opinion. I like this look better than the other girls. Even though she's a champion, I get it. You know, but the definition of women's physique is trying to stay away from women's bodybuilding, and this a good look to me. I like it.
Yeah, I think she looks pretty good. And she did it. She turned pro back, I think, in 2020 at the Arnold Classic. And then she competed. She got a pro card, I think. No, her Olympic qualification, I think, within the next year. Next year she did 2021. Then she was trying to get another shot at 2022, but then she lost to Gina filmed me in Tampa because you were there. You were when you see me say, George, there's this girl out here. Yeah, yeah. I say, what? Who's this? I said,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, And then she did a few shows last year, but didn't place as well. And maybe she just need to take a step back a little bit and make some adjustments, and maybe put in the right. Maybe just I don't know. Maybe like I say, working without a coach might work. It's all depending on the person because
Yeah.
a coach gives you some different perspective, especially you've been a coach and you've been a judge,
Yep.
your experience.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the biggest thing is like that's when when she went into women's physique, I coached her, but you need that separation. You know, that's why we went with Melanie. We met Melanie at the Arnold or the Lou Ferrigno Classic, and when Tina decided to go into women's bodybuilding, it's a different science and a different pedigree, and again at the end of the day, I tried to do that myself. The Pittsburgh Pro, and I think I was second. I tried to, I was like, but you need, and Tina's there, she's looking at me, but she's not a coach. So you need that perspective, not saying everybody needs a coach, but, a second, one of my boys at the gym today, guys I train with, I'm like, I need you to be brutally honest with me and what we're looking at, what we're doing, and so when you have that, it puts things in perspective. Like you said, her husband may be saying she sounds great, she looks great. But again, at the end of the day, it's like, some people, like you say, you think she's a little lean, things like that. And everybody has their opinion, and just having a coach or somebody who is a little bit more knowledgeable gives you a different perspective and a more subjective point of view, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that's why I don't coach myself.
And that's the thing. It's about understanding. You need that second eye that can
Yes.
give you his thoughts and his critique of how your body and the physique is going. Sometimes it's just about perspective, and
Yeah.
then you got to think about it. Instead again with a husband or a family member, you might be trying to be nice, and sometimes it's not good. Like there's a time to be nice and time not to be nice,
Yeah.
and that's one thing. Is sometimes not always great to be nice. One thing I'm going to talk about the show that was also happened was the Vancouver Pro, and I know a couple of ladies who did interviews with early last week, and they competed the show. One of the ladies that is Gisele Heathcote, I believe she got second in the show or third, and the winner of the show is Manon Deluxe. She is from Canada, and I'm gonna pull up a picture of her right here real quick, and she's the one in the center. And this chick's look impressive. I mean, she did Toronto last month. And that's in figure. And this is where I keep going back how the figure girls are getting to the point where they are looking like. And she's just a video she posted. Right after around after prejudging, and look at this chick. I mean, wow. I mean, you look
Yeah, I
at
see her on IG.
yeah.
She look nice.
And you think, is this figure? I mean, her arms, her shoulders, she has the taper, but look at her midsection a little bit. Yeah, quads are huge. Her midsection a little bit more thicker. I mean, only thing that separates is the high heels.
Yeah, those quads are crazy.
Yeah, crazy quads. I mean, and here's a picture here. I think here's like a little photo session right here. I mean, it's crazy. And now she's going to Olympia. Look this is a shot from the back. Look at details of the glutes and I mean, this is where I feel like figure should be shut down and just Miss Meyer would just call it the new, just have it absorbed into
Yeah,
physique.
that's not figure. That's her.
That's her.
That's not figure. That is not figure. That's definitely Jack. Jeez, that's like look at those rhomboids and those delts. That's definitely women's physique. That's the thing. It's like okay, it's one of those things that this is a judge's deal. This is a Sandy's deal. This is a Tyler Mannion's deal. This is a Steve Weinberger's deal. It's a deal, and I understand they're not there because everybody's spread all over the place because a lot of shows this weekend. But at the exact same time, when are you going to draw the fucking line? When are you going to sit there and say, I I don't want to take anything like Michaela. I don't want to take anything away from her fishing. this girl. I don't want to take anything away from her whatsoever, but that is not women's figure. I mean, okay, it'd be great to pull up a picture of Sid Gilman and pull up a picture of her. It's like Andrea Shaw and everybody else. Sid and Andrea, girls are chasing after her, and they're getting more conditioned and bigger, but they're not beating them. But yet they're getting this ticket to the Olympia, and then they're not doing as well because that's not the look that Sandy wants to see. If that girl jumped, if she did that Atlanta show and jumped in the women's physique, she'd fucking kill that girl that we just took a picture of. She would.
Yeah.
She'd destroy her.
Yeah.
Right? Don't you think?
Yeah, like good example. This if you a good example of that is, remember I have that picture. If it's it was a picture from the it was two competitors, one physique, one's figure, and it was
Portugal
from
last year.
Yeah, the Portugal this year. I'm
Yeah.
gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull up in a second. Portugal this year.
It was the same thing
And
last year, remember?
yeah, because let's see if I still have it. It was, let's see, it should be here. It is let me see if I know I have it here. Wait a minute, I thought I had it. I must have took it down. But it goes back to that. Actually, let's go with this one. It goes back to, yeah, here it is. I think this is right here. This is actually the different picture I had. This is another picture. This is from a NPC regional show. And this is, you have the woman right here, which is physique, and the lady right here, which is figure. And you look at them.
What's the difference?
It's not much of a difference if you look at them. And then, this is another example. This is like just early this year. You had a Triple O dynasty. You have the figure competitor from the Charlotte Pro, and you have the physique competitor from the Triple O dynasty, where it's getting to the point where it is, they need to really sit down and just, say, this is figure, this is physique, or just either possibly, just put the divisions out of pasture, and just maybe shut down either shut down figure and move them up to physique, or shut down physique, move them up to women's bodybuilding, and call figure the new physique division.
Here's the thing. You know why that's never going to happen? Because there's too much money involved at the amateur level and too many competitors. I mean, think about it. Team U last weekend or 2 weeks ago had 600 bikini competitors. Now, you do the math, George. I think it was like $300 plus a pop per entry or whatever at 600 just bikini competitors. So, and there's just as many wellness competitors now jumping in the show. There's just as many figure competitors jumping in the show. So it's a revenue thing at this point in time. So they're not getting rid of anything. What needs to happen is I've never, I think I'm 16, 17 year pro now. I've never seen a rule book. I've seen Tyler, when we talked about that one podcast, who came on and said what they're looking for. But I've never seen a rule book of saying, like, okay, this is what we're changing. I know they have these annual meetings at nationals with all promoters and judges and all this other stuff, but these girls are chasing after something that they don't. It's like chasing after a ghost, but don't know what they really want. So you're just gonna do you're gonna do you, which I don't mind. I mean, she's in great shape. I'm not gonna take anything away from her whatsoever. But there's no guidelines to this thing. I mean, Sandy in one sentence says, "Oh, we don't want women's physique girls to have cross-straighted glutes, but the champion and Natalia glutes are fucking ridiculous." Their glutes Sarah's glutes are better than half the girls in women's bodybuilding, besides probably Michaela, because Michaela's conditioning is unbelievable. But guess what? Guess where she came from? Women's physique. Angela Yo, where did she come from? Women's physique. So it's the crazy thing. It's like, if you set a precedence and guidelines, there's Skype, there's all these things. When all these NFL teams were on Zoom, where you can get everybody together and be like, look, we have to draw a line on what we are actually looking for to make this balance out, checks and balance system, and they just don't never do that. So it's just going to be what it is at this point in time, because we can talk about it till we're blue in the face, but until Tyler, until Jim, until Sandy, until Steve sit down and say, okay, let's draw up a book. Let's draw up a book of what we actually want these classes to be about. It's like a dog chasing its damn tail is never going to change. And
Yeah.
it's unfortunate because it's I mean that girl, wow, I was impressed. That was impressive. I mean, that
Yeah.
was super impressive.
Yeah, it's crazy. She just had a lot of development. I mean, I saw her, like, I remember Female Bottom Channel was we talking about her a lot. And I just think, well, when you look at her, I say, wow. I mean, and she was just crazy, just, because that show was in Vancouver. I was thinking about watching because, like I said, a couple ladies I did some interviews with last week that was competing that show in figure, and I was going to watch it, but then the live stream cost like about $60-$70. I said,
Yeah, yeah.
that's crazy. We got here from man, Raheem Hammer says, KL, what's the word? Well, KL dropped out. I think something must have happened. And also, this is from a man, Russ G says, what's popping, George? What's popping, Russ? Thank you for coming through, brother. Hey, if you want to come on, Russ, there's a link in the live stream. I'd love to get your thoughts because he's a photographer. And he worked with a lot of women in fitness, and I think he wants to really, I think he's planning on going to uh, um, I think Olympia in a couple of months. So like I said, the Linda Ray show looked like it was a good show. I enjoyed it. I only watched one half of it because the other half was the divisions that we paid too much to. One lady who I got to meet some time ago. Her name was Melissa Guerrero, and Melissa, she did pretty good. She was doing figure before, and then she switched over to wellness. She did a couple of shows here as a pro, and she did pretty good for her for as a pro debut. I think she got third at the Linda Murray show, and I think my man Glenn, he had posted it. Let me see, it should be here. I know he had to post it because he knows Melissa. He's to sponsor Melissa, but I don't see it on here. But I thought it would. But oh, here she, yeah, this is a little video of Melissa. I'm gonna pull it up here. Guys. So she has nice aesthetics. She's doing wellness. And wow. Yeah, she got third in wellness. She did New York Pro a while back. I think she did also. She was in another show, and now she's very impressive. Um, I think she has a good future. She has these goals. I mean, she does a lot of modeling for my man Glenn. Here's Glenn also here. He did a photo session with Tina Chandler. I mean, I tell you, Tina looks great. I mean, especially for a woman in her 50s. I
Wow.
mean, she looks great. I mean, I can't wait to see when we post it on you folks. If you want to check, if you want to see, I don't know when he's gonna post the pictures from the show from the what's the face? It says that's from a man. Russ G says yes. I don't know when he's gonna post these pics, but if you want to check them out, it's gonna be on the Amazon Fitness site. If you're not, if you want to be, you can be a member. I will do you a favor. I will leave the link to the IG in the description, and also you can try to because it's one of the magazines that get opportunity for women's bodybuilding and others divisions. Also, here he is with Salika. Salika's pretty good. I mean, she has a great smile. She has great potential. If she can work on conditioning, I think she will place well. And he was there. It's a picture of Michaela right here, and Michaela's look like she's just wow. And here she is, like it's the after the show. You can see both the ladies look lovely. I mean, they just look amazing. And here he is with Leah Popa and with Linda Murray. And like I said, Linda is a beautiful woman. I can't lie.
Yes, very.
She is. You wouldn't think she was 62 years old. I mean, she looks like she's maybe in her 40s. I mean, it's just, she
And she's
just,
just a beautiful soul, man. She's such an unbelievable soul.
yeah. I'm hoping someday, if I do go to Atlanta, I like to meet her and just talk to her and just say, "Ma'am, I think you're really one of the great women who's really given bodybuilding a life where a lot of women have, a lot of, sponsors and stuff have walked away from it. You know, um, what I would love to do if I could do this, if I had deep pockets, I would love to give bring back maybe Norfolk and maybe have another show in Texas. That'd be something great to do. I mean, that'd be more opportunities for women's body because I seen the list for the who's qualified. It's 12 women qualified for the Olympia, counting you know Andrea, uh, Angela Alcione, and Hella, who was a two-time Rise Phoenix champion. Then you have Alcione, who was third. I say Alcione, yes, yeah. And then you have Alcione's third. You have Lavinia, you have Teresa Vasic, Julia Witzel, Ashley Jones, Nadia Capasoto. The big question in the whole is, will Anastasia Livanova make it? Because there's issues with her. I don't know if she got a visa to come to the States yet, because her husband said they were supposed to get a visa to go somewhere in Europe, because I think um, Andrea supposed to be doing some kind of a show somewhere in Europe. And I saw them doing an interview with Human Body Chef. Said they're going to talk to her, approach her. I mean, if your wife can't make it for the big show, what's the point? That's why I
Yeah.
felt like, yeah, Sherry should have won that show. I understand they gave it because she has that look they want. She has more little even, but to me, you're wasting an opportunity somebody who's maybe not even be there to take it.
Well, and that's the thing when I go back to these things right here, when you fill out these applications, the one thing is your visa, is your visa up to date? Can you travel? Nathan D. Asher, was a guy who qualified for the Olympia at a European show last year, but couldn't get here because, I think a couple years ago they, busted into his gym and it was a steroid raid, and it's just like going into Canada. Charles Griffin one time, had a DUI, and he's cleared that up since then. Well, flew over to Canada and they wouldn't let him in because if you have a felony, they won't let you in their country. You know, I'm sure the same thing goes for the United States. So I just don't understand if your visa's not valid, you know, like you said, why would they give qualification to somebody whose visa's not valid and can't get into the states? Because again, you're wasting the spot. Does Sherry get it by default? Probably not. Because she was second. And then that's what the girl. And what I don't understand is I don't know if you caught what the girls. Yeah, yeah. What I don't understand is the girl who was interviewed who won women's physique. Like, I'm glad they went away from the point system. I'm like, why? I don't know if you caught that. She's like, I'm happy that they don't do that anymore. You got to go back and listen to her interview. She's like, yeah, I've gotten in on points, but I'm glad they got away from that, and I just got in, winning the show. And I'm like, there's a lot of girls on the outside looking in that should be in Olympia, if they're doing, they're chasing after a dream or doing well. It's not easy to get these points, so you got to place in the top 3, top 4, top 5 to get these points. So it's not like an easy task, and they got to do back-to-back shows to get it. So I don't understand why they wouldn't allow the point system based off of that reason alone. You know what I mean? Especially, again, like we have always said in the women's body division, you only got 12 girls so far qualified, and still we're looking at who'd you say, Sherry, Maya, who else is still not in there? Um, you know,
Shauna, Sheena,
yeah,
Julia Foray.
there's a lot of girls, and not all these girls. It's not enough shows from all the win, right? So it's not enough shows from all the win. So somebody's, it's survival of the fittest at this point in time. I hope they plan the girls who are not qualified, like Mila and Rasheen Boswell. I hope they plan on doing the show that you know that can qualify them because again, it, I mean, how many women's shows are left, George? How many women's bodybuilding?
Well, let's see. Now, one show would not count is the World Championship Master because they don't do Olympic qualification for that show. It should be because you know what?
Rising Phoenix, you mean?
No, it's the Garrett Hewitt show. It's the Masters World
Yeah,
Championships. You know that could be because you can do like this if you got to pay like an amateur because I know a lady who had to interview a lady. Oh, she went to the show. She had to pay cash for a ticket. We got there because you told me about the whole
yeah.
Garrett Hewitt King cash thing because he runs the Universe. You know that show, and you have here Chicago this week. Then next month you have Tampa. Then you have the Alina show that first September, and there's a show in the UK. You remember the Yopa show that Chelsea won last year?
Yep.
That promoter he dropped that show. Two pros picked it up. It's in the UK now. Now I don't know where does the guidelines for Olympic qualification end since the Olympics is September.
I have no idea.
So
But
you think
again, like you said, I mean, there's a lot of girls. If there's only 12 qualified right now, and you just named off what 4 shows left or something like that, 4 or 5 shows left, it's survival of the fittest at this point in time of who's going to win and who's not going to win and be Anaheim, so
yeah, Anaheim, but I don't know if that's going to be for
I think
this
that'd be for
year's
next year. That'd be fine
or
for
next year because that's in September. That's 24th.
Yeah. So again, it's just makes things complicated for women's bodybuilding. When you got so many good girls that are in good shape that should be in there, that makes it more appealing. But they, unfortunately, some of these girls are going to be on the outside looking in, and that's unfortunate. Especially somebody like Sheena who just did 2 shows, and she'll probably jump in Chicago because I know last time I see her in Chicago, she was second to
Chicago, she was fourth.
She was four. Oh yeah, because Angela won that show that year,
and she was second to Chelsea at Tampa because you were at Tampa.
Yeah, so it just sucks. It sucks for these girls because, it just sucks. It's you have so many girls in all these other divisions. If we really look at the numbers in women's figure, we looked at the numbers in women's bikini, and this is a redundant conversation, and wellness, and fitness, and see how many numbers, probably fitness and probably just women's bodybuilders are the lowest number at the Olympia as far as competitors in the show, if you think about it.
Yeah, because the show in Vancouver where I showed that girl Manon, there was only 5 fitness competitors. They don't have any other divisions because they used to have Physique in Vancouver Pro, but they dropped it about a few years ago. And I think Tamara Vaughn won that, who did she did a couple of shows, plus she did the Arnold early this year. And there was only 8, figure competitors for that show. And I think with this, when we were in physique competitors, it was stacked, over 27 women. I think, last year's Lenda was that stacked because
23.
23, yeah. I mean, it was, I think the last time it was maybe 10 last year, but I think a lot of competitors are saying like it's getting so close. And also there's one lady who is going to be doing back-to-back shows, and she's already. And I keep talking. I talk about this, how too many people who are Olympia qualified, because I'm surprised we haven't seen Natalia jump on the show. But this lady says she's going to announce her qualification for both Tampa and Texas. That is Zama Benta from Brazil. And Zama, I think she's going to win them all. I've seen pictures of her. She has a crazy physique. Look at the delts on her shoulders. I mean, you wouldn't think she did. I remember one year she did women's bodybuilding. She was in top 3, and that was at the remaining Muscle Fest. And this lady, her physique is just, You know, her back is one thing, and her shoulders, her delts. I mean, shoot. I
Now,
mean,
is she
she's
women bodybuilding or women's physique?
physique,
Okay.
and she's going to do Tampa and Texas. And I'm telling you, if she does those shows, she's winning. I just, I don't see anybody. If anybody
And
else,
I get it. I get the whole idealism of what these women are doing because what we talked about at the beginning of your podcast, George, is simply this: if I'm only like Michaela, I made $2,500, and I can stay in the kind of shape that I'm in and roll over to Chicago and get another bag. Why not? You know what I'm saying? You know, but that's the way I look at it. If I'm a woman, I'm like shit. I already qualified, but I still want to collect some checks. Why not? I know. I mean, and I don't know. I know Christina's doing it. I know Hunter's doing it. And Hunter sounds really confident. I mean, if you, I thought it was very flamboyant of her comment that she made on IG. She is like, just wish I had a few more weeks, but I guess I just have to go in and win it so I can go to the O. And I'm like, well, that's very confident because you haven't competed in a while and you don't know who the competition is coming up into that show. So that should be interesting.
because remember, she did. I think she did the same thing back when she competed.
At Tampa.
Uh, yeah, Tampa back in 2021, and she took second to Mona. But
Yep.
like I said, I think she made the adjustments. I think she should have did was that year was even though she got a pro qualification, she just skipped it and try to compete the next year. She might have done better. But like I said, you know how it is with some of these young girls. They think they're the hot shit, coming in
Yeah.
here.
Well,
Yeah,
she was powerlifting, peeing on floors and shit. So
yeah. There's a video somebody posted. Yeah, I'll send it to you if
Yeah.
I find it. I think I sent it to you when I saw it one time.
Oh
Here we
no,
got here.
she used to live out in Kansas, and she moved to Vegas and pissing all over the floor all the time.
Yeah, that's
Think
just crazy.
they must have got her Depends or something, or on the super maxi pads or some shit, so she can pee on the floor no more or something.
I mean, it's crazy. Somebody even made a meme with her in it. Anybody have any idea who will participate in Chicago Pro in the women's bodybuilding division? Not yet. I think that we have names. This is from my man Stephen Prey. He says Christy Mendoza and Hunter Henderson are some names they dropped. Also, this is from my man. Money J says maybe it's a possibility. Yeah, that's true. And also, this is from Money J says crazy is underestimate describing Zama Benta. Yeah, she is crazy built. I mean, she did women's bodybuilding for half a minute, and then she went back to physique. I think she probably would do good, but I think she's still on the little small side. But way the vision is going now, it's just I talked to one lady who did a show this weekend. She was physique, but she's planning on trying to do figure. And I said, okay, let's see how you do because she has that state. She has the broad shoulders. She has the taper. She has the tapering waist. She's not as big in the legs, so it might be the better division for her to test. But she's been to Olympia before in the past. But it's like I said, the look is changed over time. People it's just like we talk about Alma Swanson, who was a physique competitor, did figure for a while, now went back to women's physique, and and her look still looks more like close to women's physique or the early women's physique, well, about 2015, 2016. But now these women have surpassed those women.
Yes, they have.
Yeah. So, folks, that's what's our critique of the Atlanta Pro and all some other stuff. I appreciate y'all thoughts and your opinions. This is why I do this, and I would love to have. I know it's hard to get your leaves out here because, especially, y'all too scared because you don't want to be like I don't want to be blackballed. But this is about like my man Keith. He's a man's open bodybuilder. He don't give a damn. His division's doing good, but he still comes on here and he talks about because being married to an IFB pro women's bodybuilder, she sees what she goes through. And me, I've done interviews with ladies, and I've become friends with ladies. The stuff they tell me, it really is tough, and that's why I want y'all to come on here and share your story. I can't make you do what you need to do or what you should do. I can only ask you. Here, It's from man Raheem Hellman says, "OMG, she is fire." Yeah, I know. I think I think my man David from Future Body Form interviewed her because her husband had to translate because he speaks Portuguese, so no English. But maybe in the future. This is also from Raheem. He says, "The woman of my dreams now." Wow. Hey, I know. I can feel you. I can feel you about the woman of your dreams. I mean, I have my woman of my dreams. I'm always going to bring her up, because I love, Andrea. I have to, she's the woman of my dreams. But then I have a nightmare. There's this guy. He gets hands around my girl, but he's my brother. I love him, but he has hands around my girl. I tell him,
Yes, I can't wait to see her, man. I can't wait to see what she brings on stage. Again, ladies, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with voicing your opinion, collaborating, and just getting thoughts on what you would like to see change. Change doesn't happen unless you speak your mind and give people ideas about change. And I'm not, I got show in 10 weeks. I'm not worried about being blackballed. If Gary or Jake has come up to me and asked me my opinion on some things, I've given it to him. I'm not sitting here saying fuck the IFBB, or I would not be getting on stage in 10 weeks. It's a matter of expressing your opinions on what you think should be changed in order for you to get more clarity on what you should be doing and how you should be presenting yourself and what packages you should be bringing on stage. And that's the thing. That's what we're talking about, clarity. We're talking about better pay and things like that for you guys to get you guys a broader audience. So it's nothing like F the IFBB and F the NPC. It's based off of everybody needs clarity. Everybody needs to know when they're going to the gym, what am I doing? What am I chasing after? Am I chasing after a ghost, or am I chasing after a certain look? And so me, I go, and the two guys that won the show last year, they're on my board. So I look at what they brought to the stage last year. They may be better this year, but I'm like, if I can be a little bit better than them in this pose or that pose or whatever, then that gives me an edge. But that's what you have to do, is that you have to come on here and tell people about your journey. Or, again, we have 12 girls. There's only 12 girls in this Olympia lineup right now. And there are going to be more, 4 more, I think 4 or 5 more. But is that truly enough girls? I don't think so. When you have so many very competitive and lovely ladies out there who want to compete and be on the Olympia stage. But it's not up to us. It's up to you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I have a question. Like, what's the worst that can happen to him?
Exactly.
Just voicing their opinion. I mean, what is that? What are they really scared about? I don't get it. Yeah, I mean, they don't
Exactly.
make that much money. They're not gonna.
You're absolutely right, KL. It's one of those things. It's like you're not coming here. You're not coming on Georgia's show to bash it. You're coming on the show. It's like the guy. Like here's a prime example. The guy who that George kept pulling up, interviewing everybody. What did you do for your prep? What does it take? Who do you want to thank? Who's in your corner? Who's in your camp? These are the questions that people want to know and ask, and when I used to do magazine interview, where do I grocery shop? What's my favorite, things like that. So you can get more in depth, like Michaela's interview kind of bugged me because she was just so arrogant about it, and that's a turnoff to me as just a viewer. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you won show. I mean, but it's one of those things where it's not exciting to watch that. The girl who won Masters, who was second, I loved her interview. She was excited. She's like, I got things to work on and blah, 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 this and the other, and that's what people want to see, and people are not going to pay for, pay-per-view to watch, dry ass shit. Let's put it that way. They're going to flip the channel and watch something else, or not pay the money to watch, something like that, so, you guys have to, at the end of the day, I feel that these women have to make the sport relevant, not us.
Mm-hmm. Here we got comments from a man. Raheem says Zama is hot. He says also. Munji agrees. Says Raheem, she is Morio Flago. Also, he's saying Hunter gonna win it all, and she is hot shit. Also, this is for Buddy J. Says Hamilton also true. This is a comment from Hamilton. Says I got to get her digits. No, you're not gonna get it. Forget about it. Also, he says to Raheem says, Raheem Hammond trying to be that pimp with the digit numbers. You're not a pimp, You ain't no pimp. So, and also, he says, well, I want to get Sheena Olig's digits. No, forget about it. Sheena, Sheena, Sheena likes ladies, and one guy she is a fan of is Sergio Olivier Jr. That's her main crush. She has told me this, and people have told me this. That's who she's in love with. If she have any man in her life, that would be Sergio Jr. You are not in that league. And
In other
also,
words, guys, stop sweating it.
yeah.
Stop getting.
Also, Andrea is the woman of my dreams. Get away from her. And also, he says, this is from Raheem says, I can get Sheena's digits. No, you can't. And also, this is from a man, or word saying says, Hamilton, you know that's George woman. Yes, you know that. Oh, I just saw this a while ago. It just popped up, and we have some confirmed information. And I think, this is, she put this up, and this is Mela Ash, and I think she's going to be competing. It's peak week, and it feels amazing. And I believe she's going to be competing at Chicago. And it looks like,
wow.
yeah, she
That
looks
should
really
be
good.
interesting. That
Yeah,
should be interesting. Oh wow, look at that.
yeah. I mean, I feel like,
She's been under wraps, so she's been quiet.
because was it last year she got into a little wreck.
Yep.
She got and her car got messed up. She got hurt a little bit, and she was top 4 at the Romanian Muscle Fest. She might do this if she doesn't win in Chicago. She might go do the Alina show because she's good for going out of country every now and then and do shows. Compared to other competitors who don't want it because of the expense of it. She could, if you don't get it in Chicago, she can try Alina. Give her some time to really make the adjustments because it'd be, I don't know, would she do Tampa? Maybe, maybe not. She hadn't done it before. And I was surprised she didn't do Atlanta, where she won last year. And she could have won it this year if she had done it. But it's just, this is here from my man Raheem Hammer says Washington George has to make the move of not then it's open season, bro. There's no such thing as open season, Andrea. There's no moves to make. Okay, keep your hands off her. Don't think about her. Put it on your mind. There's other women around out there. Okay, all right. She's my woman. She's my girl. All right. You got any problems? Now I got a problem with this man right here. I love him. He's my brother. But he has hands around her. I can't get his hands on him because he's a big man. I ain't trying to fight a big man, but I don't want him to put his hands on her. Okay?
I did it for you.
No, you didn't. You did it for
I
yourself.
did it for you.
You
I
did
said,
it for
Greg, you gotta
yourself.
take the picture for my boy George.
You did it for yourself. I ain't mind
it.
I ain't mind a picture of her and Tina. I can, that's that's a dream, but 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 anyway, folks. But like I said, Chicago's going to be. I think it starts the 18th. I believe I think it's going to be Masters first. Then I think it's a 3-day show because you Masters on the 18th. 19th is the Open. I think it's the women's classes, and then they do. I think Saturday is the other classes. So if you're interested, I think the pay-per-view don't cost too much. I think about maybe $20 some. That's pretty reasonable. Tim Gardner, he's not too. He don't try to break an arm and leg when you want to watch these things. Shout out to Tim Gardner, but I'm going to check it out. Like I said, trying to be advocate for these ladies. It is tough, but you know what? I enjoy doing what I do it. I love to give y'all ladies attention as much as this. So brothers, I'll give y'all the last words, give y'all thoughts, and I appreciate your time.
Hey, I can't wait for next week. I can't wait to see the lineup for Chicago. That's going to be a good conversation next week. So tune in. Again, ladies, hopefully we can get some of you guys' opinions on this. Love the ladies last week that were on the show. Um, again, this guy right here, George, is an advocate for you, and I will always say that. So am I. Tina competes. You guys got to step up and support yourselves and speak for yourselves, and don't worry about what the outside world is in. When you go to a show, let your body do the talking. What you say, what you do. It's not like you're bashing. We all know better. We're all adults. We're all not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna get blackballed by sitting here voicing my opinion. I'm just trying to sit here and says, hey, somebody may listen to this and be like, man, that's a really good idea. Maybe we should do that. And that's what you got to think of versus like, oh, I can't say nothing. A mouth closed is a mouth not fed.
Hmm. And KL, your thoughts, brother. I can hear from you.
Nah, I really don't got that much thoughts. Just thank you for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure, brother, because this is why I do this. Because also, you get the education on this because he does interviews with women in the sport. Maybe we get, and also get to learn a little something. Helps you out in your
Just
content.
don't wear no goddamn robe with Hugh Hefner no more.
I ain't saying it. He said it. So you got a problem. You got to take it with this man.
I'm gonna. Hey, KO, you never gonna get away from that shit. Hugh Junior.
I can't do nothing about that, man. It just happened. Like,
No,
look,
no,
man,
no.
maybe I shouldn't have worn the
Hey,
role, but it
you
just
could have.
happened.
Hey,
I
KO, you could
can't.
have gave me at least a little nipple or something.
No, my eyes are burning. My eyes are burning. My eyes are burning. This
Oh,
is
shit.
so. This
I
is
ain't got nothing to say.
I love you,
awesome.
bro. I love you. You know it's
Yeah.
nothing but love.
This is what man Ward 2000 says. Mila Ash actually is the one I really want to get her digits. I just
You
said
guys gotta
Tina
stop, man.
because Raheem randomly chose his hunter digits.
Y'all
So
better start buying some plane
Terrible,
tickets.
man. Y'all
yeah,
crazy, man. Like, yo, y'all getting these women too much. Oh man,
that's the thing is
I'm
women
gonna, I'm gonna
don't.
stop.
Put y'all glasses
I'm gonna
away. Y'all
stop.
acting too thirsty. Go
Yeah,
buy a
thirsty.
bottle of water.
Nah, you dudes, you just gotta, just chill. I mean, what I do because I'm a fan of Andre. Since I play a role, but still, I respect her as a woman, as a competitor. I know I don't got a chance in an opportunity with her because I know she's busy. She might have a dude already, that's sometimes. But I just love these ladies. I respect what they do, and I honestly wish them the best in what they do in this sport. And that's why I like interviews with some of these women. And I just interviewed a lady who's a wellness competitor, and she's gonna maybe make her return next year. I've interviewed a lady who's also bikini, who's maybe gonna be competing in a couple of years because she has to take care of some stuff. This is why I do this because I want to give y'all ladies the voice to let people know who you are, where you're coming from, and your experiences. Because you know what, if you don't do it for yourself, no one else will. Here, this is from shout out to Russ G. Says a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So true. Thank you, Russ. And also this is from Raheem. Hey George, this weekend I'm to Detroit, and I would tell Andrea to say hi. Hey, you ain't going nowhere. You're not going nowhere. I'm gonna be right there at your door waiting for you to walk out and say, "Hey, brother, you ain't going nowhere." We'll have a little conversation, Raheem. We just go drive down the road. We are right there. You New York, not too far from Jersey. We watch The Sopranos. And also, this is from Raheem says, "How much at bodybuilding shows?" Well, if you usually it's depending on the show. Maybe if you're just going to do regular seats, maybe $60, $70. If you do the VIP up front, that might be 100, something like that. Every show is going to be different. The prejudges prices is going to be different from the um, from the final tickets. So if you're interested, check it out. You just go online. You can check, see the prices. They'll let you know. Sometimes they even have deals where you don't pay so much. Especially if you buy them early, especially staying with pay-per-views. You buy pay-per-views early, they usually knock off a few dollars. So yeah. So we're excited, man. Big Keith for coming through. Thank you for brother. We appreciate your time. Also got a man KL the one. We have to thank him for coming through here. He's doing good work. Also want to shout out my man right here, Hamilton, Warrior 2000, Money J, Stephen Prey, all you guys who was here, supporting us. I'd like to thank y'all for coming through. Here's this from, we're gonna have a couple more before we head out. It says, right, it says Money J says, Raheem Hampton, stop playing, bro. You're going to get hit by George. I wouldn't hit him. I wouldn't hit him. Not hard, but And also, this is for Russ G. Shout out to Russ G. Says, give the OGs in the game their flowers now. Yes, they deserve it. Thank you, brother. Shout out to you, Russ. If you want to come on, brother, if you have time, Russ, come on here. We can use your thoughts because you deal with singing babies in sport, bro. You need to be on SNL. Nah, I used to love SNL. It kind of fell off the last few years. Maybe Mad TV was pretty good, but it's just I think that next to last season it was not great. So, folks. If you want to, I don't know if they do a playback of the Atlanta Pro. You can check it out. I have some clips I got to cut and put on my IG later. I'm on my social media later. Watch the shows. Thank you for my money. Jay says he says this. He says I watched that show. Ironically, yes. Says Raheem said yeah. He said yeah. That's good. Let's talk about SNL. But folks, I'd like to thank you for coming through. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. We appreciate this. We appreciate your support. Hope we can do this again as usual. Have a little fun, shoot some shit. And guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. All right. Anyway, this is me all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out. Have a good evening, good afternoon, have a good evening, good afternoon, and a good night. And I'll see you in the morning.